question I get asked quite a bit is, hey Phil, can you teach me how to manual? And until just recently, I would have just said no, because I couldn't manual. So today I want to share a few tips that helped me learn how to manual. So first off, what is a manual? A manual is the act of balancing on your rear wheel or holding your front wheel up using your body weight. So when you start learning to manual, you're going to want to find a nice flat level surface. This includes a parking lot. You can use those spaces to gauge how far you're traveling. Another tip that will help you is using platform pedals. In case you start to loop out, you can jump off your bike. So to get into a manual, the first step is bringing your chest down to your bars. The second step is pushing off your bars and throwing your weight backwards. You want to get your butt behind your rear axle and extend your feet forward. You're actually pushing on your pedals and extending your legs out in front of you. So there are two tricks to keep your front wheel in the air. The first is to thrust through your heels and push your pedals forwards. And second, in a worst case scenario, is to give a half crank, which will also prevent your wheel from dropping. On the other hand, if you're going back too far, you can bend your knees and bring your butt closer to your seat, or you can tap your brakes very slightly, which will bring your front end down. But watch out, don't grab your brakes too hard or your front wheel will slam into the ground. To balance side to side, you're going to want to use your knees to counterbalance any side to side fluctuations. You can also use your handlebars pulling more or less on one side or the other, depending on what side you're leaning toward. So when you go to learn how to manual, there's a few things you can do to your bike to make it easier. The first is lowering your seat. The second is using platform pedals instead of clipless pedals. If you use clipless pedals like this, you might not be able to get out fast enough, and you might fall back on your butt and hurt yourself like an idiot, and you're not an idiot, so don't do that. And the third is to either lock out your suspension or use a hardtail. And always, wear your helmet, don't be a dum-dum. So if you're having trouble learning how to manual, don't be discouraged. I've been riding for 19 years and have only just recently learned how to manual. It's not that I'm bad at balancing, I can ride a unicycle, but for some reason a manual just never clicked. I honestly got to the point where I was too embarrassed to admit that I couldn't manual, that I just didn't try them anymore. Once I learned not to care, I started trying them more, and it came much more quickly. So a reoccurring issue I see with new people trying to learn manuals is they try to pull the bars to their chest. But what they don't do is shift their weight backwards and get their butt behind their rear wheel. And because of this, they can never find their balance point. In this video, you can see my butt is actually pretty high. If you keep your butt lower and further back, you don't have to lift your front wheel as high. You can make yourself longer, and if you've ever tried to balance a stick on your finger, you'll know that balancing a longer stick is much easier than balancing a short stick. So the same principles apply to manuals. So, I hope that helps. If you guys have any questions about how to manual or any other related maneuvers, please leave your questions in the comments below. My name is Phil Metz. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you guys later.
Step